Oliver Lesbrance.
Here.
Mike Sweeney.
Here.
Joe Coca.
Here.
Okay, approval of agenda. Do I hear a motion to approve agenda?
I'll move that we approve the agendas.
Mr. Sweeney has moved to approve agenda. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. I call all those in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Well, we have, do we need to turn the meeting over to you, Lucas, real
Turn it
quick?
over to me, sir.
And that way we
And I'll go
could
ahead
take care of that unfinished business?
I'll do a presentation for you guys.
Well, I'm talking about the reappointment. Do
Oh,
we
yes,
do
sir.
that right away, or?
I'd like to go ahead and discuss with the board real quick, in our last meeting that we had at P and Z, which is the same board as the Board of Adjustments. When we started off our meeting, we did an approval of agenda, and it was not voted on. We only got a first and a second. So we didn't conduct a roll call, or we didn't get an aye or a nay from any of the members, so that kind of null and voids that meeting. So what we want to do now is make sure that we, after every topic that is discussed and that there is a vote that's needed, that we either do a roll call, or we do an aye or a nay, to make sure that we're in compliance and that everything is in order. That being said, we will need to go ahead and reappoint a chair and a vice chair. And if you guys would like, I know that Mr. Salazar is not here, but if you guys would like, we could go ahead and reappoint the existing chair now and the existing vice chair and move forward with this meeting, so we could continue. If you guys want to have a discussion on it, I'm more
I'm
than happy.
still okay with being the vice chair, so.
I'm fine with being chair if it's fine with the board, so it's.
Can we do it without,
Without Mr.
Yes, we have a
Salazar.
quorum. We do have a
There's
quorum.
quorum.
Yeah.
but as far as voting on it?
Yes, as long as we have a quorum, we can vote and conduct a meeting.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 100%.
I'd like to move forward.
I have a motion.
Motion to move forward with revoting.
Second that motion?
Second.
Second to go ahead with the revoting of the chair and vice chair. We'll go ahead and start with Mr. Oliver Lesbrance as chair.
Aye.
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 3 ayes.
Aye. Aye. Yes, sir.
And we'll go ahead and go with Mr. K. Rodriguez again as vice chair.
Yes.
And if I could go and get another vote,
Aye.
Mr. Coca, Mr. Sweeney, Mr. Lesbrance, all say aye. Okay.
Aye. I'll say aye.
Continue forward. I think we're in compliance now, gentlemen. Now we could go ahead and move forward if you guys like, sir.
Sounds good.
We were here to discuss the variance application for the sign for the Maverick gas station. Quite frankly, I'm very disappointed in the fact that we don't have a Maverick gas station representative in front of us where we could ask questions, get some responses, and address any concerns. At this point in time, I would personally like to see the matter tabled. If we can, or we could move forward with it. How does the board feel? I'm gonna open this up for discussion right now among the board. Mr. Coca, how do you feel on this? You feel we should table or go forward?
Well, I believe that there should be somebody here to ask questions, but I think in my mind, this is pretty much something that we can approve.
Okay.
And to not drag it out, I would like to see it approved.
Okay,
That's my,
that's not a problem at all. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mr.
Mr.
Sweeney,
Sweeney,
is
you wanna come
any
back again
concerns?
to the same thing?
I don't see any reason to drag it on.
Dragging up, very well. Southside, any reason to?
No, I don't see no
We-
reason, right? It wasn't major questions, I just had a little bit of questions. The
Okay.
document pretty much explained a lot.
Okay, very well.
I don't see
Okay,
an issue with.
very well. Mr. Marcus, is there anything that the board should be informed of other than what is in the packet right now?
Everything that the board should know is within the packet. We do have the request for 2 signs that are gonna be above the 20-foot limit.
Okay.
As per our sign ordinance, so one of them is a 35-foot sign, which is called a monument sign. And the other is gonna be a bigger sign, 85 feet in stature, to go ahead and show, I guess, through the highways as the people are coming through there. They do stand at a lower level to their,
So they have a little higher.
to their competition, which is across the street from the Love's Truck Stop. So they do have a little bit of a disadvantage in height. Maybe that's why they chose to go at that height.
Okay.
I could go ahead and answer as best I can any questions you have without the representative being here.
I have one question. Is there any concern with as far as like water table and stability of the sign and so forth, or is that all?
So speaking with the Maverick personnel that were talking to me, they did hit a water table at 4 feet.
Okay.
But they were able to go ahead and make a solidified foundation. They could make a solidified foundation with this sign that should have no issues moving forward.
And there was no opposition as far as you know?
As far as I know, there was nothing there was any
Nobody here then?
nobody to oppose what they were doing. It was brought, questions were brought to the design and review team about it. Again, I didn't get a response from our highway department. I'd like to see if I could still reach out to them and still get any kind of a notice from them to see if they have any types of concerns or any types of wishes that they may wanna have a Maverick follow.
My question is, by solidified foundation, do you mean steel going in with the concrete?
I'm not sure what their plans were in there, but I believe they had to change up a couple of issues with their drainage and grading because of the low water table. So I'm not sure exactly what their engineer said. This would have been a perfect reason for them to be here, to go ahead and answer those questions. I can't really tell you right off the bat what kind of findings they found they're gonna make it so solidified.
They still have to get that, do they still need approval as far as the stability of the sign by the State Corps of Engineers, or how does that work?
That would definitely go probably through CID to make sure that they got the right type of footings and stuff in there.
So they're gonna have that covered.
They still have to do a lot of other things.
Okay.
But before they could do that, they have to have zoning approval, which is why we're here.
Very well.
I have no questions.
No other concerns?
Yeah.
Well, do I hear a motion?
I move that we go ahead and approve their variance.
Very well, we have a motion on the floor by Mr. Sweeney to approve the variance as stated. Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Very well. We have a motion and a second. Mr. Marquez, can you call roll on this vote, please?
I could do a roll call, yes, sir. Mr. Kerry Rodriguez,
Aye.
Mr. Oliver, I'm sorry, Mr. Mike Sweeney,
Aye.
Mr. Joe Coca,
Aye.
Mr. Oliver?
Aye.
Yes, sir. Very well.
Ayes have it.
Passes.
Passed. And is there any other business that we need to discuss, gentlemen?
I go back to the point that I'm not positive as to how it came about, but I'll ask Mr. Coca if I'm correct. In previous board meetings, I believe the chair did not vote unless there was a tie. And that was the only thing I saw was that we followed what city council follows, but I don't see it, it's not in the bylaws
It's
or
not
anywhere
in-
else.
No, it's not in the bylaws.
No,
I mean, I
nothing.
reviewed the bylaws, read.
But they don't even address, what we do is board of adjustment, and that's, it does not go to city council.
Yeah, no, I
In the
understand.
past, the only
And
time
it's also not in the
the
bylaws.
chair voted was in case of a tie,
Sure.
but in this case, I don't know.
We're just asking for a clarification on that.
Okay,
Yeah.
I could find out on the clarification on it. As according to our bylaws, I need to make sure I
Bylaws don't address
They
that.
do not address it at all, from what I've understood.
And we don't, have anything addressing also is board of adjustment, the differences.
yes, I saw the same thing as you guys as I was reading through it, but I don't have an answer for you guys. I don't want to give you any false information, so I could look that up and bring it up to in our next meeting.
I don't recall which attorneys were involved in the past, but we did sometimes have to have the attorney,
Present for these type of
present
meetings?
for certain things,
Okay,
yes.
okay, we could go ahead and, I could go ahead and consult with our acting attorney right now and see if we can start having maybe somebody here as a representative.
Look at any past meetings, I don't know how they were recorded.
Okay,
But being that there wasn't a tie here, I don't think that
There's
would
not
be
any
relevant.
problems.
There's no,
No.
there was no time, but we could do another roll call if you guys would feel more comfortable with it.
No, I feel it's by acclamation.
Yes.
I mean, it's approved by acclamation. I mean,
Sure.
no one's saying nay.
Okay. Agree. I mean, we don't, again, if we don't have to, if you guys don't wanna do roll call for everything, we could do the aye or the nay.
sure.
We could do both, either one, but we gotta make sure we're doing one or the other
One or the
to make sure that it's clear and concise with everybody that's watching and listening and paying attention to these things that we're being transparent with all our voting.
Mr. Vasquez, can you give us, can you ask the city attorney to give us a ruling on whether the chair should be voting or only in a tie? And that way it's cleared up.
Sure, I could do that.
Yeah.
I could do that.
Our next
And like I say, the only thing I saw is city council runs that way. I don't see any other.
According to the bylaws, there was, I wanted to make sure that I was in compliance with the bylaws, so I read them cover to cover, and I couldn't find anything regarding that at all, so, and I don't think you could either, so.
They also don't address anything as in regards to our role as Board of Adjustment, the
Yes.
difference.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, well, if there is nothing else, I'd like to ask for a motion for adjournment today.
I've got one more
Oh,
clarification.
I'm sorry.
Sure.
In the past, we've always started our meetings by
Pledge of
pledge and allegiance. Are we gonna dispense with that, or do we?
I could leave that up to the board to discuss. I mean, I agree with the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm always proud to do that. But again, I'll leave that to the pleasure of the board.
When I first joined the planning and zoning, we were supposed to go through a training. Remember? Do you recall?
I do.
And we never had it. Is there a possibility that we can go through that?
We can. And our regular meeting that's coming up, which would be the last Monday of this month, let's definitely, I'll put things together and see if we could get a discussion and do it. And I'm trying to make sure that we don't have any more of these special meetings, and I'm trying to make sure that you guys are, that way it doesn't interfere too much with your personal lives as well. I wanna make sure that we're here for every meeting. Like Mr. Salazar, I'm sure had issues that he couldn't make it, and I wanna make sure you guys are all present for these types of meetings. So yeah, I mean, we could have a training, and I'll go ahead and put some kind of criteria together for us for our next up and coming meeting, and I'll get something out to you guys as soon as possible.
One of the reasons I bring that up is because I would like to see the chairman address whoever's here and make it clear to them that they are not to discuss things among each other. If they have something to say, come up, tell it to us, and not argue amongst themselves.
That, I can assure you, Mr. Coca, that won't be allowed.
Good.
I will be running a strong meeting, and we will not have a situation like we had a couple of weeks ago where
Right.
the two parties were kind of arguing.
Yeah.
Not arguing or addressing each other,
No, in
and
the past,
and that's
we've had
not, that's
some,
not saying anything bad against Mr. Sweeney, it's just, they kind of got a little carried away, it's just
well,
discussion.
in the past,
and we
we've
don't need
had
to do
some
that.
people getting kind of,
No, we don't need.
kinda
yeah.
huffy
I can see how
with
that
each
can
other.
happen, I can see how that can happen.
So if we address them-
Ask you to just take the order if we have to.
Yes, no, I will, and I would like to address, I did not mean any disrespect for not doing the Pledge of Allegiance today.
No.
I just, we started talking about the reaffirmation of the chair and so forth, so.
During,
went into
if you would like, if the board would like, on our agenda, I can put that on there so we could never forget that again. That we do a Pledge of Allegiance before we start our meetings.
Yes, let's add that to the beginning of the agenda.
We'll add that to the agenda, sir.
Okay. Any other issues, gentlemen?
No further
Any other
questions.
concerns? Very well.
Concerns?
May I get a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Ms. Cortez makes a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
A second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You guys have it?
Guys, have it?
Let's go.